Hey everybody, this is Darkseid Elite here, and this is something I I knew a lot of us are gonna be talking to me, asking me about, like, what do I think? And I said last night that there was some images that was already thrown around on the internet already about Zack Snyder throwing down Uxas as a young Darkseid and him plowing through the Ares' army, and it's supposed to be the sequence that we know that Ares is supposed to basically defeat Darkseid. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be all over this and saying, "Oh, so it shows that the gods are stronger than Darkseid." So one, no, 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 no. You're missing the whole concept. Um, I'm gonna describe. I'm going to show the picture, and I'm gonna give you my personal um, critique of it and what do I think of this. Now, like I said before, and I say it again, I did not want to cover this. I did not want to talk about a picture of Darkseid. It's going to me, spoil certain things about the movie. Now, this should get a lot of people hyped. I'm not saying you shouldn't get hyped. What I'm saying is, for me, Darkseid is my favorite DC villain. He is my favorite. My whole channel is based off of Darkseid's Elite, and that is uh, Granny Goodness, Varen Wunderbar, Steppenwolf, um, oh my God, I forgot his name, Desaad. There's a lot of there's his main elite, and then there's his others. So, I really, really, really love this character, and I want him done to an appropriacy that I feel is good enough for me to be relaxed. That somebody takes this character and does a very, very good job of it. Now, the version of Darkseid that I would love to have, I still want him to be the one that thinks 15 steps ahead. I want that version of Darkseid. But I don't want Darkseid to not get his hands dirty. I do not want a Darkseid that has everybody else doing the work and he does basically nothing. I want Darkseid to be in the Justice League's face. I want him to be in the guff. They have no shot of beating him. Superman, everyone can say, "Oh, Superman should be more." No, 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 no. To make Darkseid a very, very dangerous villain and a very powerful villain, Superman should not be able to defeat him. You need to showcase that Superman should be getting stronger and stronger over time. But every time he confronts Darkseid, Darkseid shows that he's still more powerful than him. His Omega Beam can rip Superman's suit apart. His he can Darkseid is so powerful he could do an Omega Sanction and send Superman away. But he doesn't do it. There's a reasoning why he doesn't do it, and it should be on the basis that he wants Superman to fall into the fold so he can prove that hope is an illusion. There is no such thing as hope. You're clinging on to something that doesn't exist. And that's how he bases himself. That the gods give you hope. And he brings hope. And you should have a whole understanding that he put himself into power because he felt that his father and his brother were going to destroy everything. And that's the pure basis of why he sought power. He wanted to find out the end life equation. He felt that all beings, if they are left to their own devices, they're going to destroy everything. And he feels that his will is the only will, and that he deserves to be in control of everything. Hence why he looks for the end life equation. There's a whole basis of what I would love to do with this character, and we've seen the Michael Ironside version from the animated series. We've seen the Tony Todd version from Justice League War. We've seen different versions of Darkseid. Smallville did their version. It was pretty piss poor, but they did a version of Darkseid. The Darkseid that I would like to see, and I hope that Zack kind of did in this vein, is that Darkseid is extremely powerful. He is no joke. He's a warrior. He is not someone that basically he fights, but then he got so much power he just leaves it all. He just leaves it all to his minions. No, he gets in there. He beats the crap out of his villains. It's one of those things. You want to construct him on the same basis as Darth Vader. And I'm not saying exactly. I'm just saying on the blueprint of Darth Vader. Darth Vader is that guy that if he has to go down there and take out his lightsaber and start fighting, the generals should just kill themselves. Flat. They should just kill themselves because you shouldn't have to have that. You should not have Darkseid on the battlefield. If he chooses to be on the battlefield, that's his choice. It has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with his generals. But if he sends his generals, if he sends Steppenwolf to take out a planet, and for some reason 3 days later he's sitting there going, why is this planet not taken care of? He goes, what happened to this planet? Steppenwolf's not back. Steppenwolf's not back. Okay. He opens a port. He opens a boom tube, goes to that planet, and says, you've been sieging here for 3 days. I'll take care of it. That's it. Steppenwolf is done. Steppenwolf is done. Now, there's also other things that says that Steppenwolf is Darkseid's uncle. His sister is Hegra, and his brother-in-law is Yuga Khan, and his other nephew was Darax. Now, there's different pronunciations for his brother's name. I say Darax because if you say Drax, then everyone's gonna go, what? They're gonna confuse it with the Marvel character. So I go with Darax, like Uxas. Um, and but there's a lot there with Darkseid's character. There's a lot there. I am nervous that Ava DuVernay has this character because there's a lot of things that behind the scenes with Ava DuVernay that makes me extraordinarily nervous. It's not about her directoring style, it's her storytelling style. And on top of that, her fundamental belief system. And it, to me, it conflicts with mine, and I don't like that very well. And the whole basis of the New God story, the whole true basis of it, it's supposed to be High Father is God, Darkseid is the devil. That's pretty much what it is. It is a whole Judo Christian type of backstory to it, and it's how we understand who Darkseid is and the deal with the devil. So, having Ava DuVernay touch this and her her backstory about herself and how she did certain things, and there's a lot of back history about what she did on a lot of projects, and it makes me extraordinarily nervous. Go research it. I'm not trying to put her down. I think she's a great director. The last movie she did that everyone really knocked, I actually watched it and I thought it wasn't that bad. I thought it went pretty well along with the books. The only thing they changed was the fact is that the girl was black when I don't think she was. I gotta go back. I gotta go back and do some research. So I think that she did some race changes because she wanted to do that, and it didn't make any true sense. Um, um, a Wrinkle in Time, yeah, when she did A Wrinkle in Time, because that was written by it was written by a French author, and I don't think that the character was black. I think she was French, and her brother Artemis Fowl. The whole book was built off of him. Artemis Fowl is supposed to be all about him because of who he is and what he's gonna grow up to become. Because that's what the later books are supposed to be. So the first book is not supposed to be about him directly. It's one of those type of books like Chronicles of Narnia. It's not truly about the older siblings. It's about the youngest sibling, Lucy. The older siblings, they're gonna eventually move on. So it's about Lucy and the second eldest brother and their stories to be when they start to come back to Narnia. So it's one of those things. It's a very good book. A Wrinkle in Time is not that bad of a book. Nothing wrong with having a female protagonist. I just felt that she race changed the character because she felt because who the heck cares. That's how I feel that she did this. And but again, that's my personalness about it, and I still like the movie. I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was a little. I think that she went a little. She went to a little too grandeur on certain things, but didn't keep the stories more centered on what needed to be told. I think she wanted to make I think she wanted to try to outdo Chronicles of Narnia. I think that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to make something that was as grand as Chronicles of Narnia to really expand that world, but she lost the story in certain aspects. And I hope that that's not what happens in this. And I hope that she does a good job and keep it to exactly how Jack Kirby did it. She can sit there and throw on Twitter all day about, you know, I read the books and I understand and everything else. Yeah, you understanding is one thing, but you doing it is another. And are you going to pay respects to what Jack Kirby wrote and what he designed? Because he left Marvel to do this. The New Gods was supposed to be what he was going to do with Thor after he wrote the first Ragnarok story. He was going to get rid of Thor and all of the Aesir. He was going to replace them with newer gods, and he was going to give that concept to Marvel. But when he destroyed all of the Ragnarok, and he and Stan Lee had their little falling out, he left and went to DC and built the whole cosmetology of the New Gods. And it didn't stand. It stood pretty well, but they didn't know what to do with those characters very well, so they actually integrated them further into the DC universe and brought them in for Superman and more as a Justice League level threat, to the point where that's where we're at right now. But before, they had nothing to do with them. They were on the other side of the galaxies. They were different in a different set of galaxies, and had their own space adventures and their own little war. That's pretty much what it was. It's supposed to be a civil war between good and evil. That's pretty much what all of the New Gods supposed to be. So I'm hoping that they keep it to that concept, and they don't, and they slowly bridge it out. Now, I have the picture. I was trying to look around for a really good picture. This is the only one I can find. And let's talk about it. So let's get into it, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Okay, so this is what Zack Snyder posted on his Vero, and it looks cool. You see Uxas, and this is supposed to be a young Darkseid. This is supposed to be Darkseid before he becomes Darkseid. This is Uxas, the son of Yuga Khan. Now, we don't know the whole concept of this. This could be while his father is still in power. This could be him young, and he doesn't know what he's doing with his abilities just yet. He doesn't know his Omega effect. He doesn't know nothing about the Omega effect. We don't know we don't know anything about the New Gods, how Zack Snyder constructed it. Also, to be completely blunt, we don't know if Steppenwolf is supposed to be here. This might be just all Darkseid. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna call him Darkseid. This is Uxas. If this is Uxas before he becomes Darkseid, then there's a lot more to that. And I know that Zack had a whole basis of his backstory, and gonna do some small things here and there to expand it, so we would understand how did this character become one of the most dangerous villains for Superman and the rest of all of the multiverse. So I don't know very much about what's going on. I'm actually pretty stoked that he did this, that he was actually able to give us Uxas. But another fundamental part of me is, I don't want him to spoil this. I don't want him to spoil the later design of Darkseid. I think that he's smart enough, and I have a lot of faith in Zack that he's just gonna give us Uxas, but he's not gonna give us Darkseid. He's not gonna give us any any pictures of Darkseid, later constructions of Darkseid, how he looks in his more modern suit. How does Desaad or Granny or any one of them look? Now, we don't know if they're gonna look monstrous, or they're gonna have their more they're gonna look semi like how Uxas look. I'm not Uxas, but how Steppenwolf looks. Um, and um, we're gonna see how everything unfolds when it comes to that. And I hope that we do get this cut. Now, I'm sorry for that. I'm getting some texts, but what do I think of this? I really like it. I like it. It looks really cool. It shows that he's basically he's leading the charge. He's taking on some enemies. We don't know where Ares is gonna come in. We don't know if Ares actually completely destroys him, or does it was a much more elongated fight, and then he just got a good lucky hit. We don't know how it is, but we know that Ares defeats Uxas, which causes the slow downfall of his defeat, and he leaves with his tail between his legs, and he vows that he will return. Now, we don't know if Uxas left the mother boxes on purpose, or he basically it was part of the whole. They were scrambling to get the heck back to their ships and get the heck out of there. We don't know. There's a lot we don't know. So sorry about that. So still got a slight tickle in my throat. Um, one of the biggest things that I'm getting from a lot of fans is that a lot of people is that this is confirmation we're going to get the cut, or this is going to be closer and closer that we're going to get this cut. Maybe. I'm tempering my expectations. I'm not going to try to get my head over the heels and everything else, because I don't want any of us to get to the point where if WB comes out and flat out tells us no, we're not releasing this cut, then we're all gonna get mad. We're all gonna start boycotting again, and this and this and this. No, no, no. We should take this and go, okay, all right, we still want that cut. Keep the fight going, because all Zack is doing is he's giving us the hype with smaller things. And the only thing that I hope is he does not reveal the later design of Darkseid. Leave it alone. Do not reveal this. Please, if anybody can get this to Zack. I mean, I tried to talk to him on Vero, but I know he's an extremely busy man. He can't get to everybody. But if someone can tell him that, hey, you've got a fan out there who tries to talk to you, he knows that you're busy. But if you can, do him and, some of us that I agree, do us a favor. Please do not show us the later design of Darkseid. Just do not show us that. Let us see this in that cut, because by giving us that later design, then we can all piece together everything and see how he's gonna look and how he's gonna and everything else. His voice, okay, I mean that's here or there. A voice is one thing. That I don't care about that. I just don't want to see the design. I just don't want to see the design. I feel that we should see that in the movie. I think we should all be enamored by it. We should all see it in action, if there is an action point. But there should be, because he does look. We do see him in the future in the Nightmare event, where he's ruling over the planet Earth, and it turns into an apocalypse. So we got to see how this all unfolds, and we hope that this is all going to be part of Zack's plan. And I think and I think that Zack is a master planner himself. He has been planning this. I think ever since Jason showed him that camera, I think he knows that the hype is there, and he knows that Jason's behind him, and he knows that there's some actors, he knows there are a lot of actors behind them, but they have to protect their interests, their movies that they want to make. And he's slowly getting the hype out there. And I know how people feel about with having Henry Cavill said, and I know how people are not hearing very much out of Gal or Ben. But you also got to realize that Ben is slowly trying to move on, and Gal is trying to hold on to her movies. And Henry wants to get another Superman movie out. So why are they rocking boats? WB can literally, AT&T WB can tell them, okay, well, you're only going to get 3 movies. Bye. Or Henry Cavill, Gal can get one, her 3 movies, and they can just move on with another Wonder Woman. Why? I think Gal wants to come back. I think she wants to be this character for a good long time. She wants to be that legacy like Linda Carter, that we all know as Linda Carter, or as John Wesley Shipp. I mean, I think that Gal wants to be this character for a good long time. She wants to do other roles. Of course, it's going to help build her career. But she wants to be Wonder Woman as long as they want her to be around. But she has to also think about the fact that she does have to thank Zack for this. But Zack is not going to tell any of these actors or actresses to sacrifice their careers just for one movie. That's the wrong thing to do. And Henry's doing the good thing. He's actually keeping himself on the fence. He does want to get a Superman movie out, but he hasn't truly said anything truly negative about what Zack did. He was just saying about the fact of, hey, I just want to get a Superman movie out, and I want to do more Superman movies. But he felt that the direction of them bringing in Batman, and then now it's all about Batman, and now where's Superman in all of this? And that makes sense. That makes absolute sense. That's what any person who loves Superman would say. Wait a minute, we got a Batman Superman movie. Okay, I'm good about that, but where's the next Superman movie? I would love to see another Superman movie. And that's what he's saying, and that makes a lot of sense. And Zack is just playing these games to get. And not saying games in a funny sense, but he's playing chess with the studio and us to position us into the fact that we can get that checkmate. So I think that a lot of us should just hamper our expectations, temper ourselves down, and literally, and I mean this, literally keep fighting the good fight. I know how Subject Reviews is talking, and he's getting to the boiling point. It's been 2 years. Why release this cut? I understand that. I know a few of us are saying that on a lot of these on YouTube and on the boards and on Reddit. Like, where's this cut? I want this cut. If they don't get this cut today, this year, then I'm done. No, don't do that, because if you do that, you're playing into AT&T's hands. They want people to just fall off. They want the movement to slowly lose steam. You got to realize that if we can keep trending on Twitter every time something big comes out, and we break the internet with more stuff that trends for months to get the word out, guess what? That's more people asking for this cut. That's more things we can show to them, that's money in their coffers. That's more money in their pockets. But if people start falling off because you're not getting what you want, then you're not going to get what you want. AT&T wins. There's a great line, and all of us know this. We all know this line. It is a line that is the cementation of Superman's character. Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. And if you just don't do anything and fall off, then basically evil wins. Evil will win. And I'm not saying AT&T is evil. I'm not saying that. They're bad people for not bringing out this cut and realizing that they can actually make back their money and make a little bit more if they release this cut and they do it the right way. Utilize the movement to make the money. And I think that WB, by not fighting anymore, by not putting out negative press, by not talking to Cinema Blend or Screen Rant or any of these journos, by telling them, nope, there is no cut anymore, by them just letting it go and letting the movement work its way out, and in a way help the movement, because the one thing they can do by helping the movement is leave Zack alone. And they're doing that. They're letting Zack do his own thing. If they wanted to shut this down, they'll be telling Zack Snyder, stop putting out these pictures. That cut is not coming out. They're leaving it alone. And they're leaving him alone. That means that they want this cut out. But we got to prove that we can get to the masses, get to the casual audience, and tell them, like, hey, you got to see this cut. You got to see this cut. Let's finish what Zack Snyder created. Evil triumphs when good people do nothing. We got to get more people into this. We got to. Or we are never going to see this cut. Doesn't matter if it's 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. No one's going to care. If we keep doing nothing. Or we're not getting to the right people. Or we start complaining and falling off. You can't do that. Just keep fighting. If you want to temper yourself away from doing the fight, that's your choice. That's perfectly fine. I'm not on Twitter. I'm off Twitter. I have nothing to do with Twitter anymore. I log in, but I don't interact. I got way more important things to be doing. I'd rather make these videos. I'd rather be talking to you than me throwing out a tweet. To me, that gets it out there a lot faster. So please keep fighting the fight. And about this video, and I said it before and I say it again. Please do not show us Darkseid. Please do not show us a modern version of Darkseid. I am fine with this picture. It irks me just a little bit, only because I wanted to see this in combat. I wanted to see how he designed him in practical action. I wanted to see how he was going to interact with the gods, how he's going to interact with his own army, how he's going to interact with us as the individuals. I want to see how this character unfolds himself because again, Darkseid is my favorite DC villain of all time. There is no villain that overtakes him. He is the best because in all honesty, if you think about his ideology, his ideology makes a lot of sense. It is a true epitome of a villain because he believes in no hope. There is no hope. There is no hope. He is the hope. Follow his will, and you will live in grand paradise. You keep fighting, all you're gonna do is suffer you're gonna suffer a miserable end. That's the reason why he butts his heads with Superman so many times. But this is a guy that thinks 15 steps ahead. He's immortal. What I mean is, I'm sorry, he has a long extended lifespan. He's not truly immortal. He just has a very long age span because he's extraordinarily powerful. And that's how I think about this picture. And I hope that Zack kind of tempers back, just show us more of Uxas. But please do not show us Darkseid. Do not show us a modern version of Darkseid. Please, please, please. If someone can get this to Zack, implore him. It's like, hey, this guy makes a good, valid point. I will love to see this in live action. But if you could, boss, please do not show us the modern version of Darkseid. Do not show us that version. I will love. Too many people have spoiled movies over the years to the point where we get angry when people start spoiling things. I know all of us, we want to see Darkseid. We want to see how this guy looks. I don't. The only reason why is it will spoil more of the movie. Even if he shows up with a back screen, that means that we now have what he looks like. No. It was a surprise in Avengers that we saw Thanos at the end of the movie. He said we're going to see Darkseid at the end of Justice League. But no, we were going to see Darkseid in the middle, in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the Justice League. He was pivotal. The whole story was around him. So I don't want to see a modern version of him. I just want to see the movie. Show us what Desaad looks like. If there's granny goodness. If there's Kalibak, his son, what does he look like? And that's what I think about the picture. I think it's a great picture. Thank you, Zack Snyder, for giving us this. It does keep me boiled for wanting to see more, but I just don't want to see a modern version, a modern picture of Darkseid. Leave that in the movie, please. Okay, so that's what I thought of the picture. I think it's a really good picture. I think that Zack he's the man. He's the man. And I would love to shake his hand. I wish I was there at that event. I got myself to a car wreck going there, so I couldn't get there and see him. I'm fine. Everything is good. Everything's a lot better now. So everything worked its way out. But if he does another SnyderCon event, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go. My boss already knows. He's like, no, if he's doing it, I'm going. Sorry. Get somebody else. But I'm going to go because I want to see this man. I want to shake his hand. I want to thank him for making me actually respect and care about Superman again. For him to give me the Batman that I've been wanting to see in a long time. We have not had a Batman that was that terrifying. We have never had a Batman that was that ruthless. We have never had a Batman that was that unyielding to be a frightful figure in the night. We have never had that version of Batman in live screen. Never. People complain about the fact that he's killing people. Well, that's part of the arc of the story. Yes, it's unnerving. We're like, wait a minute, Batman's doing this? Okay, let's see how this unfolds. If you're going to be hanged up on that, then man, you got problems. In all honesty, you got a lot of problems. If you're hanged up that much on him killing, when we all know that he's not supposed to be doing stuff like that. He's not supposed to do that stuff all the time. No, he is ruthless. He will beat somebody. He'll break bones before he'll kill somebody. And we're all okay with that because the guy lives. He broke a bone. Guy lives. Takes him to Gordon and drops him on his doorstep. We're used to that. But him killing, blowing cars up with guys in it, not caring about his fellow man, yeah, that there's something about that. Yeah, it's different. But that doesn't mean that the person's going to keep him that way. not in a modern version of Batman. Now, if it's an Elseworlds version of Batman, I'd be like, cool, give me that version. That's great. We've seen a version of Batman that went down the path of Punisher. We've seen it. So we have no problems with it. If it's gonna be a one-off set of trilogy movies, okay. But a whole cinema universe built on Batman with the rest of the Justice League and having Batman just murdering people left and right, there's gonna be a problem. Yes. And Zack's not that type of guy. He's not that type of director. He was showing us a point. And that's why I have a lot of respect for Zack, his storytelling principles, and what he was trying to do. He understood these characters. He understood where they were supposed to be at, where they were at one point, and where they're going to become at another. But people complained. People complained. So, um, so I hope that a lot of us could just hold ourselves back a little and just and sit back and enjoy the ride because this is gonna be an awesome thing. All right, like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit that bell. I will have one more other video out. I'm gonna try to talk a little bit about the finale for the Crisis on Infinite Earths. The last episode, the Arrow episode, was actually was actually pretty good. It's not bad. I have a video up that will be up in about 30 more minutes. Um, and I will have one other video talking a little bit more because people are talking about the scene where Zack, you had Ezra Miller's Flash interacting with Grant Gustin's Flash, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. It's probably going to be pretty long, but that needs to be told, and what I think they're trying to do, what they're trying to do. And I kind of went into it a little bit, but this is gonna be more on the Flash, not the whole grandeur of the DCEU and what the Arrowverse is gonna be doing. Okay, you guys have a great one, and like Darkseid says, everything's all part of the grand scheme of things. Everything is the will of Darkseid. Thank you.